Hello, good afternoon, everyone. And for those who are watching us from different time zones, good morning or good evening, wherever you are. And my name is Marilyn. I'm the founder and CEO of Customized Training Solutions Private Limited or CTS. And since we have been doing this interview for over 100 times, so we will no longer do the introduction. But for those who are interested to know how we can work together, we will be sharing some links later on the comments below. So this interview will benefit those who are in the C level or senior management who likes to stay relevant and adapt to the next normal. Business leaders, team leaders, whether you're in the corporate world or entrepreneur, who find it stressful to lead and ensure performance of a hybrid team, and for individuals who would like to level up their leadership skills. So do join us in this conversation, by the way. It's not just about my guest and me having this conversation or interviewing him, but also we would love you to join us in this conversation. Give us your takeaway. If you do have any questions, do let us know as well. So it's my great pleasure to introduce engineer Marcus Tai, a reputable professional civil engineer who is registered under the Board of Engineer Malaysia and Institute of Engineers Malaysia. With over 17 years of experience in the field, he has established himself as an expert in construction within Malaysia and overseas, including Indonesia, Thailand, Ghana, Ivory Coast, and Nigeria. He provides his clients with top quality civil and structural consulting services, specializing in factories, warehouses, and mixed industries through T-Days Sedan Berhad. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. And his recent acquisition of a civil contractor firm proves his commitment to his strong track record of success and is well positioned to continue growing in the construction industry. So let's learn and invite Marcus. I will call you by first name.
Hi, good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Because I'm not so sure where is our audience from. And thanks for Madeline for a great introduction. Yes, Sendirian Berhad, you're right.
Thank you. And I forgot to ask you, how do you pronounce the IR in front of your name? I believe that means engineer, right?
Yes, you're right, engineer. You're right. It's a short term of engineer where the I and the R combine together as a short form.
Oh, okay. So that's the Malaysia form, is it?
No, it's a Italian, actually from
Oh,
Italian.
Italian.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
and then this title actually is a worldwide title.
I see, I see. Because in the Philippines, we usually use engineer, which is shortened as ENGR. So
Mm.
that's why. Thank you for that new lessons for today.
Yeah, no problem, no
So
problem.
we haven't really started, but here I am. I'm already learning from Marcus. Thank you
Thank you,
so
thank
much.
you.
And for just for the information of our audience, um, I actually get to know Marcus from a common mastermind, Winston Titanium Mastermind. We're both in that uh, group or community, and we get to finally meet each other in person last early March for our retreat. And I'm so amazed with Marco's leadership because he's one of the people in our mastermind who always like so generous in how he actually share as well comment or support everyone in the community. And also, like, I remembered when we actually went to the airport, right? I got like a bit of accident, and he made sure I'm okay before they went inside the airport or inside the
You
the
twisted your ankle.
yeah, it's very interesting, right? I mean, we're talking about leadership and transformation here, so
Yep.
um again, that's the reason why I invited engineer Marcos in this conversation, because I would say that it's really like what leadership is, right? It's really leading by example, and being a servant leader to your team, whether they're your internal team or not, right? So thank you so much for that, and I hope I gave like a justice to your introduction as well. And before I ask my first question, I just want to acknowledge those who are watching us live. Thank you so much for supporting us. Hi ho. So it says LinkedIn user, but I'm assuming you are Marikit. And oh wow, sis Tracy is also here. Is that Tracy? Wow, you're still awake because he's watching. If it's Tracy, she's watching from the US, so it's what 2 a.m. her time. And hi Wilson and Emily. Thank you so much. Good job, Marcus. Yes,
Thank you.
definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah, so to get started, um, we would like to find out what was your journey like on leadership. So if you can share with us who are your influencers. If you do have a favorite leadership style, do share, or styles, do share with us.
Yes.
And what leads you to be to how you define and how you are leading your team right now.
I see. Actually, in my life, I have two role models. Okay, in my life, one is Tun Dr. Mahathir. Tun Dr. Mahathir is our Malaysia ex Prime Minister, and
Mm-hmm.
another one is my eldest brother. Okay,
Wow.
let's say go for Tun Dr. Mahathir first.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tun Dr. Mahathir to me actually is a very significant influence on
Mm-hmm.
my this leadership style and approach. He actually is an example leader who actually shown very tremendous resilient,
Mm-hmm.
courage, and also determination throughout his career, particularly as during his prime minister in Malaysia.
Mm-hmm.
One of the key of the leadership quality I admire of Tun Dr. Mahathir is his ability to make a tough decision and also take bold action, even in the face of the opposition and the criticism. Lah. He's not afraid to take the challenge and push for the changes when there is necessary for the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
So another aspect about the Tun Dr. Mahathir leadership is I find inspiring in his vision and strategic thinking. He has a
Mm-hmm.
very long-term perspective on issue and able to develop and articulate a clear vision for Malaysia future, as demonstrated in his ambitious development plan from Proton in Malaysia in 1985 to Commonwealth Game in 19 tallest twin towers in the world, international airport, KLIA, F1 Sepang, and last but not least is a Vision 2020. He do understand that the importance of the short-term goal and the long-term goal. He also have a track record of achieving the significant progress towards this goal. So on another hand, is my very own eldest brother,
Mm-hmm.
blood-related eldest brother. To me, he's not only smart, but he also very calm when he making any decision during the critical situation. His leadership is something like a captain of a ship. A captain should be very calm, okay, maneuver the ship in no matter how hard the storm is. So he is like that. So in terms of my personal leadership style, I do believe a participative of approach which involve all the collaboration and engagement of my team and the stakeholder is very important. So this will lead to a better decision making and also the outcome that leverage the collective knowledge, skill,
Mm-hmm.
and also perspective of everyone involved. So, however, there's a time where require a directive approach, then
Mm-hmm.
definitely do a approach urgently. Okay, no discuss with them lah. Okay, so I believe the effective leadership involved being required to be adapt and apply different style
Mm-hmm.
of depending on the situation. So ultimately, for me, okay, leadership about create a vision and inspiring others to join you is more important. Is involved on able to communicate effectively, build
Mm-hmm.
trust, and also create a culture that support innovation, growth, and development. So, to Dr. Mahathir, like just now I mentioned, he does demonstrate all this quality throughout his career, and I aspire to follow his footsteps and making a positive impact to my own leadership journey. So, by the way, my core value is of life is trust. Trust means honesty and accountability.
Mm-hmm.
So my second core value is which I seriously inherited from our Sifu Winston: stay humble, hustle hard. So I do believe this value do embedded into myself, okay, and to further polish my leadership.
Mm-hmm. Wow, thank you for sharing with us. And one of the reason why I would normally ask for influencers is that it's a one way for our audience to somehow like relate better, like, right? That's why I would normally ask for that input from you, and I really appreciate the reason, and for you giving us the reasons why you actually admire um, Tun Dr. Mahathir,
Mati.
right? It's because
Yes,
of, again, like what you've mentioned, his resilience, his courage, his
yes,
determination. And most importantly, you said he's a leader because of the vision and very strategic thinker. And despite that, at his level, right, he
yeah,
has, of course, he has to make difficult decisions, right? And that's
true, true.
what leadership is. It's not really about who's gonna be famous, but it's really so much more of um like what decisions I have to make in order to reach that vision that I have shared to the people that I am working with, to the people that I'm leading, and to other leaders that we are working with. And again, like I really appreciate as well that you mentioned about your elder brother, right?
Yes, my
You
eldest brother.
eldest brother who's calm and adaptive as well, like the captain of the ship, like what you've said.
Yes,
And it's important to for us to know, especially when we are like parents or elder brothers or sisters, we have to be a role model for those that are younger to us, right? So it's important, leadership is not limited to private or government officials, right? Or leaders, but it also has to start within our home, with our own home, right? So I really appreciate that reminder from you,
thank you.
Marcos. And sorry if I don't call you engineer a lot of times.
It's
I'm
okay,
kind of
it's
used
okay. No
to
worry,
calling
no.
my first
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
So
just come.
and you've also shared with us your core values, and again, that means like there's awareness, right? As a leader, we have to be well aware of who we are, what's our core values are. And you said about trust, accountability, staying humble, as you hustle, right? Same as our sifu, as you mentioned. And it's important because like that's how you actually strive and succeed in the business, when you are trustworthy, when you are accountable for the actions that you also do, right? So thank you so much for sharing with us your core values as well. And I
Thank you.
just want to recognize Muhammad for joining us today live. Do share with us if you have any takeaways, questions, or anything. Oh, he's actually joining us from Saudi Arabia. So thank you so much. Join us in this conversation. And so my next question for you then is, in my introduction, I made mention about staying relevant, being able to um, like ensure performance of a hybrid team, and all those like potentially I would say like challenges and opportunities as well that we are facing, especially in the last 2 3 years.
Yeah.
So from your experience as a leader and entrepreneur as well, what would you say would be the top three problems that leaders do normally face?
Uh, Top three problems. I guess maybe the first one will be talent acquisition and also retention,
Mm-hmm.
managing culture, managing changes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the third one will be balancing the short term and the long term goals. Okay, maybe I try to elaborate a bit the talent acquisition and retention. Actually, attracting and retain the right talent is a quite significant challenge for many corporate leaders. Okay, especially for as an engineer, sometimes to get the right talent, we need to train. After train, sometimes they may just go, there will be a wasted of our resources and our time, something like that. So it's quite challenging to find people with the necessary skill, experience, and also culture fit to the organization. Once they have the talent, the corporate leader must ensure that they are engaged, motivated, and also challenged to prevent burnout and turnover. Okay,
True.
about the managing changes. Okay, change is actually unavoidable in business. So, for example, like during the COVID, we required to change our the a system of meeting. Like for example, now we are always using this Zoom meeting, online meeting, or this kind of thing. But before this, we always are having a physical meeting. Without the physical meeting, you want to show something to other people using the whiteboard also cannot already. So using the Zoom, we need to adapt to the technology or this kind of thing. So
True.
so the corporate leader also must adapt, navigate changes in the market,
Mm-hmm.
regulatory, environment, technology, like just mentioned, and also some internal process. So they must also able to communicate these changes effectively and manage to impact to their team and the stakeholder. Okay, and balancing the short term and the long term goals. Just now, we mentioned goals actually very important. Okay, there is a
Mm-hmm.
short term and long term. Sometimes the corporate leader, when they want to deliver the short term, they so-called sacrifice the long-term sustainability. While
Mm-hmm.
they are thinking the long-term goals, they also may sometimes miss the opportunity of the short term. So, for example, like what kind of this kind of long-term and short-term. So, assuming now we the company have a long-term goal which to want to list it to the IPO, okay, listed to
Right.
the this Pusa or this kind of thing. So definitely they are looking on the big project because they
Mm-hmm.
have to increase the revenue. But sometimes they forgotten the short term actually very important. So
Mm-hmm.
small project actually will having a more quicker turnover and easy to
True.
maintain the cash flow or this kind of thing. So that's why in order to balancing this short term and long term goal actually quite a challenge. But this is just a few of my answer. So there could be other challenges in the corporate leaders may face depending on their industry, size, and also the stages of the organization. However, these challenges are common across quite common in all those organizations. So addressing them effectively will help the leader build a successful and a sustainable business.
Yes, that's very true. I mean, if I were to choose my top three problems, these are some of the probably the top three that I would also share to my audience, right? So again, as a leader, it's very important for us to be very mindful of like the talents that we work with, right? It's always people first, right? Because you cannot be a leader if you don't really have like teams to or people to lead and to help, right?
Yes,
It doesn't have to be like all internal, but I mean when you actually, especially in your case in the construction where you handle projects, right?
yes,
There
correct.
are like a lot of contractors, subcontractors, or
Exactly.
otherwise called different stakeholders, right, that you have to work with, communicate with,
Yes,
and of course you prefer to have long-term relationships where you retain the people or the team that knows how you work already, right? So
yes,
and
true.
again, like what you've mentioned, despite that a lot of people resist change, it's actually something that is like constant, right?
True,
So
true, true.
it's important, or like again, that's the reason why that this is one of the major problems, especially for bigger organizations where they have to manage a lot of change. And even like what I've learned from our cost engineering program, where like this is really so much around like how you deal with stakeholders, how you actually be on time, on schedule. That's always important for like projects, right? Especially in the construction, the bigger construction, the more schedules and and even delays or budget discrepancies, right, between
Yes.
estimates and the actual projects. So it's really like, how will you actually manage all those? And you link that again to the balancing of the short and long term goals, because most of the time, like for bigger projects, it really takes years before you finish that, right?
Yes.
Although, for again, like you said, how do you balance some
I,
like smaller projects as well, right?
I
And
would
even
suggest some. I would
Mhm.
suggest that one will be on the second thing is called managing the changes. Sometimes the
Yeah,
subcontractor need to be
mhm,
changed so frequent because what happen
true.
they cannot perform, then we need to change them. So there's something like no choice, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, very true. So it's all about like managing changes that
Yeah. Correct.
sometimes you thought it's the best like fit or partner or option, but then
Mm.
throughout, like then you realize, oh, we need to make some changes as well, right?
Yes.
And
Correct.
again, it's a balancing short and long term goals, like what you've mentioned as well. And that's not only for projects, but even as an entrepreneur or business owner, right? We have to look into both our short term and long term goals, because that will help us get through, baby steps first. Usually I'm really good with a short term, but not much on the long term, so I needed to, like, that's something for improvement for me, in fact.
I see. I see.
So, but having said those problem, of course, we will not leave our audience with the problems, right? We wanted to help them on how are they gonna address all these problems. So, my next question is, what are the important leadership capabilities, leadership skills that you must have in this next normal to be able to continue to lead more effectively? And if you can share with us or relate with us in your experience or story, like why you say these capabilities or skills, like from your experience, how do you relate that?
Okay. As a corporate leader, I believe there's a lot of key leadership capability and skill that
Mhm,
are quite crucial to leading this effective. Okay, in my personal experience, I believe to set a vision, to set a very clear vision and mission is most important, because what happened, they provide the direction, clarity, and
mhm,
also serve as a purpose on how they help us to align the organization goal and objective with its core value and the principle lah. Okay.
mhm,
A well-crafted vision and mission statement actually inspire and motivate the employee and the stakeholder and help
mhm,
them to create a sense of unity and also to share the purpose of within the organization.
mhm,
Okay, let's talk about this vision and mission.
mhm,
Okay, my company name is TDACE. Okay, I have implanted my vision and mission of my company in the name itself. The
mhm,
TDACE itself actually have their own meaning for every single alphabet, and
mhm,
every single alphabet is meant for 5 years. Okay,
mhm,
that means I put in every short-term goal to achieve the final goal, which is altogether 25 years. So it's
mhm,
from my starting of the goal of E until the final of T. So
mhm,
let me explain my story a little bit, maybe a longer version. So
mhm,
my career actually starting with an E engineer when I was just start graduated in 2006.
mhm,
I look for a small company to work with to gain knowledge and experience. A lot of
mhm,
people ask and also say this, hey, when you go to a small company, you will do everything.
mhm,
Yes, that is the reason because I do everything. That means I can learn everything. So just to be frank, actually I'm graduated first class honor, but
mhm,
I only get very little pay or very low salary. But I know that what I want to learn. I want to learn how to be a great engineer, and I want to be learn how to be a businessman at the same time.
mhm,
Every day work very hard because I know if I could perform, then my ex-boss will give me more project to handle. More projects mean more exposure. More exposure means more opportunity to learn, and
mhm.
which means more experience to gain. I still
Yes.
remember that day before I resigned from the company. Actually, I handling 32 project on my own hand.
Wow.
Yeah, their calling is something like eventually I entertain one project in a day. I no need to rest. I also need to have 1 month plus to handle from A to Z again.
Uh-huh.
So then by the end of 2011, I started my own business journey
Mhm.
with a C
Mhm.
consultant. I still
Mhm.
remember that there are too many unknown that time. Okay, because it's just a beginning of my business journey. It's like
Mhm.
every single hour full of new unknown, and this
Mhm.
is also why where my eldest brother coming in and say, "Don't worry, unknown is good for you to learn. It's a journey." So then they lead me to register to a private limited company, like just now
Mhm.
said Berhad in year 2012. Exposure of the client from local in Malaysia, i.e. the Hexstar, a fertilizer company, to Pauskat, a food industry company from Denmark. So, by the way, we are major in factory, industry building, warehouses, and mixed industry. So, as we all know, construction of factory is more like they are looking at practicality rather than the outlook. Therefore,
Mhm.
we did not forget to put our goal with an A, architectural.
Mhm.
Hence, in year 2017, our main project start to focus for those projects that require some architecture input. Our
Mhm.
very first project that require this architecture input is an office extension in Lahad, Perak, Malaysia.
Mhm.
This project was one of my structure steel fabricator who we always work with. I still remember after the 6 month after completion of the office extension,
Mhm.
this client very happily come to me and they say, "Hey Marcus, I secure a big project lah. It
Mhm.
worth $60 million. I mean ringgit Malaysia." Then they
Mhm.
told me actually his client actually very impressed of his office come fabrication yard. So
Mhm.
which resulting their client trust them more. Okay, our project continue with another fertilizer plant in Klang in year 2018 and also in year 2019 we eventually ventured to oversee with Austin Powder, an explosive manufacturing company.
Mhm.
So to build a new complex in Kalimantan, Indonesia. So I still remember the client complaining to me. He said like this, hey Marcus, are you sure with this kind of office outlook? It's so nice, but the whole office is full of glass. You should know that we will test some explosive and the vibration may crack the glass. So
Mhm.
I reassure him the window actually is using polycarbonate instead of normal glass. So this vibration will not break the window. Lah. So
Mhm.
also remember how I persuade him and when I told him something like this. Okay, my company is from Malaysia and bringing
Mhm.
your company from United States, we cannot simply build a mattress box in Indonesia. So we have to bring our country reputation in Indonesia. So
Mhm.
after that, they are quite happy and we're heading up. But things turned sour lah. In year 2020, when the pandemic hit the world,
Mhm.
the
Mhm.
project actually put into the shelf, and my company hit very very bad. To be very frank, my company hit very bad in year 2021. Life was difficult. But my next journey of D, which should be targeted to start in year 2022. Okay.
Mhm.
So, by the way, D stand for developer or design or and build. Okay.
Mhm.
So I was in dilemma until my life met up with our Sifu Winstana in September 2021. So on January 2022, I I was have a very detailed JV discussion with a contractor firm named Herox Construction. Their
Mhm.
director is Kenji. So the JV discussion went all well, and we firm up the date. Even to sign, when to sign the agreement already. We mentioned to sign the agreement on 4th of Chinese New Year because it's a good day. Okay,
Mhm.
but things go west again when Kenji father having a stroke. Just right 3 days before the Chinese New Year. Why I remember so well about the related date on the Chinese New Year? Because I believe this should be my happiest Chinese New Year. Okay, well, but things go wrong. Okay, go west. Okay, the JV went silent. Sometimes all we need to do is just do our best, and God will help us. So on 7th of Chinese New Year, a contractor called me up with this company actually 5 times bigger than the previous and call me out and say, hey Marcus, I need your help. So things then go well, and from normal JV, and da 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 da, go to become I take over their company, and the things go well until today, and hopefully be more and more better. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and just sharing. Last week we participating in a project in Pahang, Malaysia, doing a root work plus some earthwork, which amounting around 130 million ringgit Malaysia, and
Wow.
also. Then there will be an upcoming project in our company to be a subcontractor in this ECRL project, East Coast Rail Link, under the CCCC,
Railway.
China Communication Construction.
Mm-hmm.
We just have a very preliminary discussion on the last 2 days only, on last Monday. Lah. So that's why after
That's why
came
you
back.
were outside, you mentioned.
No, the outside actually, I go back to praying the Qingming for the Chinese one. For the
Oh,
Chinese
okay.
one, we go back to praying. Then after that, I am thinking by right on Monday should be all right already. Who knows? Prepare again for the presentation until this morning. Seriously, can sit down to look on this interview things. So, well, my goals on this construction company is to make it listed IPO by year 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So people always ask me this, what is the difference between my dreams and my goal?
Mm-hmm.
Dream is when you want something, but without actual plan. But
Mm-hmm.
when you segmentize it in steps, and more important, with a time frame or the due date, then it's a goal.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my goal.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing with us. That's really a very clear mission and vision for from you, and also sharing even your journey towards success, right? So I really appreciate you sharing that with us. It's really like, we can't get away from some of the challenges that we might face, right? I mean, COVID, like, I think, like, almost everybody, almost most businesses actually got hit by COVID-19, but it's not really about stopping there, but really, like, trusting in his plan and your action plans as well towards your goals, right? It's really like continuously hoping and doing what you can to address that. So thank you so much for sharing that story, Marcus. And before I proceed with the next question, I just want to acknowledge Marikit. Thank you so much, sis, for your support. She's here saying hi, and also says, Octavia, sorry,
Adi.
Octavianus. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, because it suddenly moved. Yeah, so, and we have a question here. I think this is addressed for you. What's revolutionizing the job site, and what is the technology in the construction for the safe job site?
Okay.
That's very technical.
Yeah, IoT. IoT will be the next generation coming in. Okay, IoT is something like to implement the technology into this construction machinery. So eventually now a lot of unmanned machines, even the excavator, crane, all this kind of thing, do happen in China already. So IoT will be the next generation era. But somehow in Malaysia, we are still moving a bit slow progress, but still moving towards that side. But in the agriculture, yes, IoT move very fast. IoT
I
do move
hope.
very fast. Yeah, information of our technology. Nowadays, the JKR also require us to do this IoT. JKR is a Jabatan Kerja Raya Malaysia, Kerja Raya in Malaysia lah. Okay, they require us to implement all the drawing from the architecture and the engineer must be combined together in one source. So even the contractor can how to say access to the drawing, and also put up their own shop drawing, all this kind of thing. Yeah, I will use the word IoT.
Thank you for that answer. I hope you got that and you're satisfied with that answer, Mohammed. And he has a follow-up question. I guess it's a follow-up. Or another question, what's popular role for the revolutionizing theory? Hmm.
Okay, most of the time, engineer, especially in terms of construction, okay, actually quite individually, we work together, we work by ourselves. Most of the time, civil engineer, architect, they do not really correlate each other. But until now, this IoT coming in, everyone correlate together. Definitely, there was further revolution about technology, how the technology coming in used by the contractor. Not all the contractor will able to use. If let's say basing on current contractor, most of contractor very manual their machinery or this kind of thing. So definitely coming in will be the most of the time engineer will be the one who lead the work. Uh,
Thank you. Thank you. I hope, Mohammed, that answers your question. Very technical. I cannot relate that much. But yeah, I'd like to shout out to Sis Nicole. She said that that's a good differentiation between a dream and a goal. Thank you so much. That's probably her takeaway from you as well, or aha moments. I mean, thank you for your support. I believe Nicole is actually based somewhere in the US, right? You're following EST or CST. So thank you for your support at this wee hours for you. And yay, I got Octavianus name right. So and Arlene, hi, hello. So he's saying hello to you, Marcus. So
Hi,
thank
Eileen. Eileen.
you. Yeah, so that leads me to my next question. Where's my next question? Are you done actually? You only mentioned around vision and clarity on vision and mission as the important leadership capability or skill that you must have. Is there anything more that you'd like to add, or you're good
I
with it?
believe that is most important.
The
I
most
believe that.
important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. And that leads me to my last question. This is a very open and interesting question, I believe. So, if you have a magic wand and can use it, what will you do with it?
Okay. Seems like I become magician. Okay. Assuming let's say I have a magic wand. Okay.
Mhm.
uh, I will actually love to use it to help empower and inspire others to achieve their goals and to reach their full potential. Seriously, to be achieving goals, definitely a lot of obstruction. Okay, so
Mhm.
if let's say I able to have a magic wand, I hope I can help them. As a leader, I believe it's quite important to create
Mhm.
an environment where everyone can thrive and contribute their unique skill and perspective. With the magic wand, I also hope that remove all these barrier, any barrier and also obstruction that holding people back lah. Okay, and when there is a lack of resources, skill, or opportunity, I hope
Mhm.
I can give them this kind of things, and at the same time, I would like to encourage and support them to take ownership and of their own development and grow. Okay, so that they can also become the leader in their own rights. Ultimate, my goal will be create a community, empower, uh, confident and capable individual. Okay, who are committed to make a positive impact in this world.
Wow,
That's
I really wish that you have a magic one, Marcus, right? And I mean, like, it's interesting. That's also one of the reasons why I'm very excited about this conversation, because I don't like I do have a lot of engineer friends because I came from a pre-engineering school, by the way. Uh, so that's why I have friends like all over the world who are engineers. Shout out to my Mapuans. and and so it's very interesting, but not a lot of engineers would be as um I would say as like warm and as like good in communications as you are. Like
oh,
you
thank you.
know, you seldom hear that. And I mean, like, through the work that you do in our community, whether you're doing your work or outside of your work, right? At least, you know, even without that magic wand, you've been like doing all your best to actually support everyone to, like, you know, unleash those things that holds back some of the people, and, you know, sharing things that would help them to, again, like what you've said, take ownership of their goals, right? It's really about
Correct.
empowering and inspiring others as well as a leader, right? And you are walking the talk by, sharing the story that you've gone through. It's not really all ups, right?
Yes,
You've
correct.
also like gone through a lot in your life, in your career, and you are willing to share that to others, to inspire others. And again, that's how it is. Right? So thank you so much for sharing your story, Marcus. and
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
and wow, that's a tough question. Magic one, says Nicole. Thank you. Yeah, it's really kind of tough because if you only, especially if you only have one wish, right? What will you do with that magic one, right? It's a very open question as well. So yes, thank you so much, Marcus, for all the insightful and very very straightforward uh, concepts and like inputs, or and even the inspiring stories that you've shared with us. And thank you so much for all our audience who joined us today live, and for those who are watching us on a replay, please do share your comment as well. And before we end this conversation, do you have any like parting words of inspiration or message from for our audience?
I believe trust yourself. Trust yourself. Whenever whatever you do, just trust yourself. Then you can achieve what you want. So that's my final words.
Wow, thank you, thank you. And again, because sometimes we tend to doubt ourselves, right?
Yes, correct,
And
correct.
it's very simple. You just close it with that. Trust yourself and trust in your journey, right? If I may
Yeah.
add that. So thank you for that reminder, Marcus. And again, as I've asked you previously if there's anything that we can, give to our audience who are watching us live. This is particularly or especially for those who are based in Malaysia. This is your chance to get free physical visual inspection services on an existing building. This is worth 5,000 ringgit. How generous, right? So Marcus is giving us three vouchers. So feel free to like send us a message or comment below if you'd like to take one of these free vouchers from Marcus, and he will be glad to share that
Yes.
prize with you. And for our side, our upcoming program actually related to construction on how you can increase profitability in projects. Right, we will be having
Ah,
engineering, risk management, and EVM program this coming end of May. So I'll be sharing that as well on the comments for them to sign up. And another program that is upcoming this mid-May, we will have the um, financial modeling program and finance for leaders back to back. So I actually call, like, even without the magic one, I would call my trainer for that financial modeling a magician, because I saw like when he was training some some directors and managers from accounting and finance, the way I look at them is that they look like kids watching a magician because of the tips and techniques and the shortcuts that he was sharing during that session. It's like, wow, like a magician. I said, like, it's like these are kids watching the magic show with him. So yeah, so thank you so much for the promotions as well. And for those who would need help from us, I will also like add in our contact details on the comments. And Kenneth, he says, Marcus, that was awesome.
thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Kenneth, for your support. And Nicole says, so happy I wake up at 3:30 a.m. So that's what I'm saying. She's back in the US, and at 3:30 a.m. she's joining us. Thank you so much for your
Thank you,
support,
thank you.
Nicole. I really appreciate that. Marcos and I definitely appreciate that support. So again, thank you so much, everyone. And You see, engineers, he's doing a lot of things to make this world a lot better, right? So let's all take mm, do our best and leave our geniuses, right? To create a better world for everyone. We are all genius and we can do that. And remember that even the richest investors in the world would say that investing in yourself is the best investment you can ever make in your life. So with that, thank you so much for all
Thank you.
those
Thank
who
you.
are watching us live and still here. Thank you so much. If you have takeaways, questions, please put in the comment. And thank you so much for your support, especially to Marcos. I know that you're here for Marcos. So thank you so much. And with that, we would like to leave you with this quote that if your actions create a legacy that inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are an excellent leader. Thank you so much, Marcus, for being an excellent
Yep.
leader today, especially. Thank you. Have a good day and stay safe, everyone.
All
Bye
right.
for
Thank you.
now.